When Survivor hit the American TV screens in May of the year 2000, it was a humongous hit. At the time of the finale, the show was being watched by an average of 52 million people. 52 million! It had higher ratings than the World Series and the NBA Finals. That sounds insane! Survivor wasn't just a TV show, it was an event that hit the US country by storm. It was the talk of the water cooler, the contestants were treated as almost celebrities, they were making cameos everywhere and whatnot. And as the law of nature implies, things that are currently popular will inevitably get parodied in the media. It helps a lot that Survivor setting is incredibly easy to recognize. You have a beach, put a palm tree in there, some ticketing, a torch, a dude in cargo pants here, boom, you have Survivor. Now, I have always been angry about the fact that Survivor references in the media are spread all over the internet and there isn't one way to watch them in one place. You always have to have them saved in a bookmark somewhere and watch all of them independently. So I'm making this video for you and for me guys to enjoy almost every major Survivor reference that I could find. To clarify though, a Survivor reference is different from a Survivor cameo. In this video, I just want to talk about the times where other shows have made fun of Survivor in some way, not when actual Survivor contestants appear in The Price is Right or Jeopardy or something. I'm going to be showing you all the Survivor references that I could find in cartoons, shows, movies, and even in music videos, and god, there are a ton of Survivor references. I'm pretty sure that I will miss some that I have never been exposed to, so I'd like you to tell me about ones that I missed, and maybe help me make a part 2 of this. I love collecting cool clips like the ones I'm about to show you before they're lost to time. Cartoons are usually the biggest references of the hit show. It is very easy for them to draw some sand and some poultry in there and say it's Survivor. I guess we should just get the most obvious one out of the way first.
Isla del Drama.
Everyone knows the whole franchise is a direct part of the show, and that's something I never actually knew as a preteen when I started watching. Yeah, I had no idea that Survivor existed when I found the show, and trust me, I was obsessed with Total Drama. It had the characters, the cool challenges, the elimination aspect. It was cool knowing that my favorite character may not survive until the end. And he didn't. The challenge in the very first episode had a character jump off a huge cliff with sharks in the water, and I thought that was cool. As a teen, I read the Wikipedia entry on the episode and it mentioned that the challenge was actually directly inspired by the challenge on Survivor. I was like, no way that's real, and I checked it out. That's pretty much how I got interested in the show. After I had more knowledge of Survivor, I began to look for more similarities between the two shows, and there are a couple. Obviously, every episode someone has to be voted off the island, but instead of revealing the votes, they just flat out say who is safe by giving them marshmallows. Whoever is not given a marshmallow, well, they are eliminated and they have to walk the dog of shame, which are similar to the humiliating strolls of defeat Survivor contestants have to go through when they are voted off. There's the obvious comparison of Chris McLean's appearance being based off Jeff Probst, yeah, though his liking of torturing contestants was apparently based off Joe Rogan from Fear Factor 2, which I wouldn't know, I don't remember enough about Fear Factor to say. There were plenty of gross food challenges throughout the show like in Survivor, and there were a bunch of evil contestants throwing up. TDI producers loved the concept of barfing. In the second season of Total Drama, instead of deciding the winner with a final challenge, it ended with a jury voting for a winner, like in actual Survivor. I always liked that better. Plus, in the show's fourth season, they introduced the
McLean Invincibility Statue,
which are directly inspired by Survivor's hidden immunity idols, but they're Chris's head statues, and they can also be fake, who knew? The show's fifth season borrowed two ideas at once. It was called Total Drama All-Stars, and it was divided between the cartoon show's heroes versus the villains. And that's a way to tackle two All-Star Survivor seasons at once. But these are very surface level. I wanted to get more specific in the references. Is there actually anything that references real contestants or occurrences in the show? Well, there's a couple. I read that Owen is supposed to be based off of Richard Hatch because he's a fat one and he likes to be naked on camera. Okay, sure, that's more like it, but I still have to squint my eyes at it. Scott, from the second generation of Total Drama castaways, is pretty obviously based off Russell Hantz from Survivor Samoa. He's the antagonistic strategist, he likes to scheme a lot and he's constantly a jerk to everyone. Their speaking mannerisms are even pretty close.
Yeah, I stole that stuff. Threw my shark tooth in there too. I was gonna pin it on Brick, but Dawn the junk collector got too smart for her own good. So I just slipped all our stuff in her garbage bag. Yep, there's only room on this island for one smart guy.
Rob was after me. You know what? I just won. Big time Boston Rob, the super all-star. He ain't nothing on me.
It's like game on now, huh?
I'm controlling this game. I'll take care of all of them one at a time. This is Russell Hance. If you ain't with me, you against me.
See, they're the same. The third season of Total Drama Island Total Drama World Tour actually creates an interesting mixture of Survivor and The Amazing Race. They go all over the world to compete in challenges, but they are eliminated like in any season of Survivor with elimination votes and whatnot. I think it would have been cool if they could have worked some Amazing Race style eliminations on that one, but I guess that's why they made. Okay, this is not a parody of Survivor, but I'm happy to point out some reference to other CBS shows. Now that they have parodied Survivor and The Amazing Race, I can't wait to see how they will do Big Brother. It could be something like Total Drama House or Total Drama Rama. Oh god. You know what? Hold on, I forgot there's already a parody of Big Brother out there. Drawn Together is one of those shows that I was scared of watching as a preteen in fear that my mom would walk into the room and evict me from the house. What was I even doing watching it? I was young. It technically is based off the real world, but there are plenty of Big Brother references on it as well, like the cameras watching, and they do make fun of the show at times.
Our team had to invent a low-carb cure for polio before the other team could put an egg in a bucket.
It seems that every week my team gets the easier challenge. It also seems that every week I blow the producers.
When I rewatched it now older, I was definitely surprised by the fact that the show made fun of like every reality show that was popular in the 2000s. Big Brother, American Idol, even The Apprentice.
Nice job. And how did you ladies do?
We made $617 million.
Wow, you guys got your asses whipped. You're... fired.
I was definitely amused at the Apprentice reference, let me tell you.
You're all fired.
Well, in one episode the house gets take a helicopter somewhere and it crashes on a remote island. And remote islands and cartoons usually only mean one thing. It's time to take a shot at Survivor.
Look everyone, it's that asshole Jeff Probst.
I love how they introduce Jeff Probst here, like...
Survivors, immunity is up for grabs.
Once again, immunity is back up for grabs.
The depiction of him is actually pretty great as well. I do like how they draw him pretty buff and cocky. And then it gets disgusting.
So your next challenge is... my cock.
Yeah, I had to censor that for you. They don't pixelate it either. It's animated Jeff Probst long in all its HD glory. I have always wondered if Jeff has ever seen this and what he thinks of his cartoon dick, but those around souls I will never get. They end the reference pretty shortly after with a cheap joke about Survivor being fake like every show was doing at the time.
I want to be a big star. I want to be even bigger than that douchebag Jeff Probst. Follow me.
Wait, where are you going?
You'll be back. They all come back.
And talking about adult shows that take a cheap shot at Survivor being fake, good thing there's always a Family Guy.
4. Tell you, this sucks worse than that time I was on Survivor. How dare you wash your clothes in our drinking water, BB? Now how are we gonna survive in this harsh, unforgiving terrain?
All right, Donnie, make sure the wheel goes all the way around.
Oh no! Headhunters. Yeah. Am I fired?
I like the decision here of actually drawing Survivor contestants this time, like, hey, that's BB, Richard, and Colleen. That's pretty cool. Family Guy tried a Survivor reference again in another episode, and this one gets more in depth, referencing the previously on Survivor segment.
Previously on Family Guy. Certain of his own wit and intellect, Brian opened up a Twitter account. Previously on Survivor.
They reference the confessional shows, the elimination votes, and they even brought on the real Jeff Probst to voice himself as well.
Brian, the family has spoken.
You know, you're the only man in America who looks good in sandals and cargo shorts.
Aw, he even gets a compliment, which is rare for Family Guy. That's very sweet. Another one of those cartoons that I definitely should not have watched when I was a kid. Remember Celebrity Deathmatch? This one blew my mind when I discovered it. I did not know there was a whole episode dedicated to every Survivor contestant of the first 2 seasons battling it out on a ring.
Tonight, the Deathmatch tribe has spoken, overwhelmingly demanding to see Survivor, survival of the fittest survivor.
The Celebrity Deathmatch Survivor Special is one of the coolest in terms of how many specific Survivor references they managed to sneak in. They really capitalized on the popularity of the show to throw in every memorable moment they could and make a joke out of it.
Can Tina crush Colby again? Will Susan really leave Kelly to the vultures this time?
You were laying there, dying of thirst. I would not give you a drink of water. I would let the vultures take you.
And will somebody please just punch Jerry in the neck for me tonight?
But this is Celebrity Deathmatch. The whole shtick of the show is that people die in the grossest ways. If you're sensitive to that, well, I'm putting a content warning right here. I'll even censor some of the ugliest moments of this event, and it gets pretty nasty. It's kinda gross to watch knowing these were just real people and not the usual celebrities, and watching them get beaten up makes me a bit uncomfortable. They are pretty graphic with some of the moves they pull, so if you don't want to watch that, well, I'm putting a timestamp right here to skip this segment, right? You can use it. So the gimmick of this episode was that all 32 contestants up to that point were hanging out in a machine in the ceiling, and the audience would vote them in one by one to fight it out on the ring. They don't bring everyone out because no one wants to make and animate 32 contestants in one episode, but they make sure to put the most important ones at a time. Like Colby.
Colby.
Here he is, America's favorite mama's baby.
And the way they portray some of these Survivor icons is honestly pretty funny. I like Colby as this likable dude who has a weird fixation with his mama.
Mommy, can I get in your sleeping bag with you?
Yeah, that directly comes from that weird reward challenge he won on season 2. I also thought something was off on that. Sonia is portrayed with her sweet ukulele, is the obvious joke.
Oh, the island was hot, but the people were sweet.
Life is hell, but I'm swell. Bye bye blues.
Considering that Sonia was the very first person ever brought of Survivor, it's neat that they gave her a shout out by making her the first death of the episode as well. No, I don't feel well seeing an old lady getting impaled in the back by a ukulele.
Now here comes a real competitor. He's that lovable homophobe, 73-year-old ex-Navy SEAL, Rudy!
Rudy also comes into the ring as America's hero, and they make a reference to him not being homosexual for sure.
Thanks, guy, I love you too. Not in no homo way, but regular.
Me and Richard got to be pretty good friends. Not in a homosexual way, that's for sure.
And here comes that outback butt crack, Jerry!
And here comes Jerry, the biggest villain of the time. You have people booing her and her standing up to them.
As a Marine Corps veteran, it is my sworn duty to carry out the wishes of the American people and beat the living bitch juice out of you.
And they also touch on the sexual desire she had for Colby.
So, Jerry, we meet again. You're looking great.
Don't even try it, Colby. Just because I admitted having a lot of hot sexual fantasies about you and...
Actually, in my wildest fantasy, picture pouring hot chocolate all over some hot dude's bod and having sex while licking it off at the same time. That's like my ultimate fantasy right now. I think Colby's afraid of me. Because this fantasy I have about chocolate and sex definitely involves him.
Kelly Wigglesworth, the runner-up of the first season, also comes in with water raft and all, which I also thought that was pretty great. Until they introduce her biggest rival.
It's Kelly's mortal enemy, the insane sea monster truck driver, Susan.
Alright, this is where the characterization of the contestants get a little wonky. Like, she comes in and she's treated like she's a stupid caveman that only understands the very basics of language and is just dumb.
Kelly! Vultures! Ooh, I hate coconuts!
Come on guys, give she some respect at least. Well, at least they let her get some sweet revenge on Kelly, complete with another nice Survivor callback.
Tastes like rat.
This island is pretty much full of only two things. Snakes and rats. And in The end of Mother Nature, we have Richard the Snake and Kelly, who turned into the rat.
Colleen and Elizabeth are also part of the weird mischaracterization of the episode. I mean, both were America's sweethearts in their respective seasons. They were sweet and kind and everyone loved them. But here they are portrayed as petty mean girls that only care about popularity, and that just doesn't fit them at all.
Susan, and you know, if you want to hang with me and Elizabeth, it's cool.
All you've got to do is kill Jerry.
Oh?
Come on, Susie. It'll be fun. Just kill Slut Butt over there, and you can be a cool, popular girl, too.
Popular.
And here to end Jerry's reign of terror comes Keith.
Keith, the disgruntled chef who hates Jerry even more than the rest of America.
Come and get it!
Oh, this was a big deal way back then. Keith and Jerry fighting over his great cook status.
Thanks to your whining about my cooking on national TV, my reputation as a chef is probably shot.
You guys hungry?
Yeah. You're cooking. He's a chef, but it's not that I don't believe that he can't cook very well. You know, it's not. I'm not doubting his talent. It's pasty. It tastes like glue. It just in your mouth. It goes. It's just horrible, and I can't eat it.
It didn't make sense. It didn't make sense. Like, how could a gourmet chef not know how to make rice?
I think this is also the most creative kill out of all of them. I love it. It's the best if you're into inflation. Get out of my video. Hold on, here comes Michael. Listen, that was always going to be the joke with him. I would say, oh, come on, that's a cheap shot, but have you seen what Michael is up to nowadays? But if we're talking about my favorite fighter of the episode, here she comes.
Tina. Looks like we're gonna get our first millionaire on the dance floor.
Hey, ladies, y'all need a hand?
I think this is the best depiction out of any of the castaways they feature. I always thought Tina was one of the most savage contestants ever, using a nice southern mommy appeal to backstab people, and they really got that across.
Right, and you know what else works real well?
No. What?
Blind, evil, backstabbing sneak attacks! And now it's your turn, Colleen. I mean, I hate to do it. You're my girl and all, but...
Stop, Mad Dog, I love you. I value your friendship more than anything. This vote has everything to do with the promise I made, has nothing to do with you. I hope you'll understand.
Though I have to be missing something because they make a lot of jokes about her boobs for some reason and I can remember nothing about that.
Baby, you're tired. You're frustrated. You miss your mama. Come on over here and rest your weary head on my enormous matronly bosom.
The excuse they throw in for not having to animate any more of the castaways is that something is eating all the contestants up there.
Something has clearly gone horribly wrong up in those rafters.
So all of them just fall like skeletons, though they do manage to get a couple more nice callbacks.
There's Alicia's talk to the hand, and Kimmy's big fat mouth, and Kentucky Joe's good heart.
But of course, you can't have a Survivor Deathmatch and not have the first winner of it.
Hey, there is one more. Incredible! It's Richard Hatch.
I knew it.
And they make sure to make the only Richard Hatch joke in existence. Naked. Well, I do like that they portray his nakedness as one of his many genius strategies and that it was his plan all along. He really felt like that.
It's insanity!
Is it insanity or strategy?
Oh.
A brilliant strategy by Hatch!
He's gained immunity through nudity!
But the downside of this one joke is that things get disgusting. You do not want to see how Richard gets rid of Colleen. Colleen doesn't deserve this, my sweet child. And it finally ends with a showdown between the only two winners of the show. Well, not much of a showdown. Tina grabs the game by its balls and sploosh goes Richard. You know, all in all, Tina winning the deathmatch just feels right. It goes along well with her backstabbing and savagery, and I love it. Wait, okay, there's technically someone left.
Y'all say, people, should we vote this off the island? Well, Jeffrey, as you say, the tribe has spoken. It's time for you to go.
Yeah, Jeff gets a taste of the trial by fire, and I think that's a pretty clever usage of the catchphrase here.
tribe has spoken. It's time for you to go.
And this was a Celebrity Deathmatch special of Survivor. Honestly, with the knowledge that this is Celebrity Deathmatch and that it's always going to be gross, this special was pretty funny. There's lots of nice callbacks to the first 2 seasons, which shows that this was the season. Well, I mean, everyone did. But by far the coolest thing about this episode is the fact that they made really cool clay figurines of our favorite people out there. They look amazing. I love Rudy, Colby, Colleen, Sue, Keith, Jerry. Most of them look really cool. I really want to beat on that clay figure of Tina, man. She's a badass. You know what? I want all of them. Okay, except Richard Hatch. This one looks creepy. He looks weird. I'm sad they didn't make figures out of all of them, but there were 32 people, and I don't think they had a budget for a 2-hour movie. But if we're talking about a lighter cartoon now, here are The Simpsons. The Simpsons are no strangers to making fun of popular culture, but weirdly enough, their shots at Survivor were pretty subtle when the show was at its peak. Like in this episode, Helter Shelter, they lose their house, and they agree to live in a reality show house, but their ratings go down. So the producers decide to strand the house on an island. And while on the island, they find a group of savages that were abandoned by staff, and you can tell what it is.
Savages! I'll handle this, Marge.
We're not savages. I'm a paralegal from Cleveland.
And I'm a nutritionist from Santa Fe.
We were a tribe on another reality show, but we lost the final challenge.
And they also have a quick cutaway gag of Survivor, but with animals this time. Okay.
You lost the tribe's fishing equipment. And we saw a dramatic collapse in the Lion-Gazelle alliance.
But here's what's weird about The Simpsons. They actually did a whole episode dedicated to making fun of reality TV, like 17 years after it was at its peak. The Simpsons Heartbreak Hotel is a whole episode dedicated to Marge and Homer wanting to be in a reality show, which is called
The Amazing Place Show!
Yeah, you can guess what the title is a parody of. Well, it's like kind of like a mixture of Amazing Race Team Race and Survivor's sticky aesthetic. But my question is, Simpsons, if you're going to make fun of reality shows, why wait to do it on the 30th season when it's way past its prime? Like, Amazing Race is pretty much on its last legs at this point. I, however, do like the acknowledgement of the audition tapes that people usually send in to get elected.
Why should you pick us to be on The Amazing Place? Because we're best friends who never bicker.
Hi, my name's Spencer. I'm 19 years old and I'm an economics major at the University of Chicago.
And there are some surprisingly specific references on it, like what happens in the commercials.
You like adventure, bandanas, and having your friends see you melt down on TV? We want you for season 48 of The Amazing Place.
Yeah, you remember that? They also acknowledge the casting calls that people go to, and that one phrase that always grinds my gears.
Because I am your bug-eating nude fatso. Oh, also, I'm not here to make friends.
I'm not here to make friends.
I'm not here to make friends. I'm not here to make friends.
I ain't here to make no friends.
Yeah, people always say that. It's one of my pet peeves. But the coolest thing about this scene specifically is that it throws in names that you might be familiar with if you love Survivor.
I think we just found our Boston Rob.
Or your Springfield Clancy. Huh?
I tell you, hearing Boston Rob's name on TV outside of Survivor is surreal, and it isn't the only time it's happened.
Boston is the greatest city in the world. Boston Tea Party, Boston Cream Pie, Boston Rob Mariano.
But The Simpsons isn't the only cartoon to have a weird Amazing Race Survivor mismatched parody, surprisingly enough. Are you ready for this? Look at that title logo, what do you imagine? This is another one of those just put an island and torches everywhere and it's supposed to be Survivor, but it's not really Survivor at all. It's more of a fear factor thing where they have to beat challenges, else they'll get eliminated, and the contestants are just random superheroes. Honestly, there aren't many things to discuss about this episode.
This is a serious competition, and I am here to make friends. I'm Princess Morbucks, and my daddy owns the network.
Okay, those jokes are pretty decent, but the rest of it is meh to the ending is yet again a race to the finish challenge that is not Survivor inspired, But it's come with a joke where production obviously favors more bugs because she has more bugs.
I didn't get that joke as well, huh?
Wow, is this an interesting commentary about how reality TV producers often manipulate a season to get a favorable winner for them? I don't know, maybe this is a dumb joke for a dumb character. This episode is really bad, it doesn't even get me the amusement of a badly drawn Jeff Probst or a host, it's just a generic guy in cargo pants. Dumb. It also has a bachelor party every now and then, but it's not like I watch that show though. Keeping in with a bad modern Cartoon Network cartoons, Teen Titans Go! I have a fun story related to this. I was at a hotel when a TV showed one of the episodes from a 5-day special where the Titans crash into an island. Now, what did I tell you about cartoons having islands? It was a huge coincidence though that I caught the Survivor episode specifically because else I would have known about this. When I watched the episode in the hotel, I saw they had a gross food challenge and I was like, hold on, is this a Survivor reference? Is this like a parody of Survivor right now? So I decided to look up the episode and well, I saw it from the beginning and sure enough,
skills, we have to split into teams and compete against one another.
Shouldn't we be helping each other?
We will! By being super petty and forming alliances and backstabbing! Always backstabbing! Stab, stab, stabbity, backstab!
Yeah, that's a Survivor shot, alright. It was pretty amusing. They made fun of the confessionals and they put someone off the island.
Robin.
Thank God. I just honestly didn't expect Teen Titans Go to acknowledge Survivor, and I think it's pretty cool that I caught it live on television.
Which family will avoid elimination by earning this amnesty idol?
What an obscure cartoon to have a Survivor Team episode on. Jackie Chan Adventures? I don't think many people remember this one. One of the episodes was based around one of Jay's favorite shows.
Oh, come on, Uncle Jackie. I've seen every single episode of International Island Challenge.
Where the family end up participating in said reality show, and it has the whole Survivor checklist. Tiki Torsion Island setting. Bing. Competing tribes or families. Bing. Cool physical challenges. Bing. And the family who wins actually wins an amnesty idol, making them immune, but not one of the losing members from the family. Bing. I like that they vote in coconuts. That should actually be the norm.
It's nothing personal, dude.
Uncle has been bamboozled!
I've been bamboozled!
The gross food challenges are right here. And finally, a race to the finish, because it wouldn't be a Survivor reference if it didn't have a race to the finish, right? That's what Survivor is, yes? Honestly, it was pretty straightforward and cool. It was a decent episode. But by far, the coolest Cartoon Network reference to our Survivor were these commercials.
Listen, everybody. Before we eat, we should spread out and gather branches and leaves to make some kind of temporary dwelling before nightfall.
Who died and made you Mark Trayer? I was setting up camp when your grandpa was in short breeches.
I didn't know this existed. I love this. These were segments made in the 2000s when Survivor was all the rage back home. You know, I used to love those Cartoon Network city commercials as a kid where every Cartoon Network character would interact with each other, and this is just that before that. I know, just seeing Eustace, Johnny Bravo, Blossom, Mandark, Brack, and Chicken on one tribe is fucking funny to me. The fact that the tribes are divided into Cartoon, which feature cartoons original from Cartoon Network, and Barbera Tribe, which features cartoons original from the Hanna-Barbera era, I think it's a really sweet touch, and I love that. As far as I'm aware, there were only 5 of these bumpers, and let me tell you, they're all very funny. Every character is so lazily animated that it makes some real great faces and reactions. Just look at Betty jumping in the water. But highlights are the dialogues. The dialogues of these segments are gut-busting. There are some really incredible quotes in here.
Hang on, geezer. The little girl has a point. So does my chin, but that don't make it fit to lead this outfit.
You used my toothbrush.
I did not use your toothbrush.
Yes, you did. Touch it. It's wet. I've chopped enough firewood to last for 2 more weeks.
Congratulations, Mr. Lincoln. Let me know when you've written your address.
Man, you would have been gone weeks ago if I could have spelled Eustace.
You'd have been gone weeks ago if we didn't need you for broth.
I don't know, Xandor. Ask Wonder Woman.
I don't think she likes me.
I don't think she likes him.
I don't like him.
They treat it referred to as a reference of people sleeping in the tent, how they actually sleep, and they portray the always famous gross food challenge. I like Day 37 too because it's just a nice, chill callback to people debating about eating rats, which is a discussion that they actually had back in season 1.
Mandark, have you ever eaten a rat?
No. I ate at the school cafeteria once.
I ain't eating no rat. You'll eat it and like it, mister.
Rats aren't bad. Rats are rats.
And of course, the last day is all about who wins the season. We're introduced to the best final 3 in Survivor history. I don't care about heroes versus villains. In this house, it's all about Eustace, Betty, and Brack. I love this one because looking at Betty's pose cracks me up every time. This one also calls back to the only Richard Hatch joke in existence.
Eustace, you've been called rude, hateful, and downright crotchety by your fellow Staylongers, and many thought your birthday party of 1 would blow your candle out for good.
They make a silly little final challenge to determine the final 2.
Okay, we now have our last challenge on the island. Staylongers, are you ready? Give us your impression of a favorite character on Scooby-Doo.
Jinkies?
Yes!
Here at The Rock, we got 2 rules.
Don Knotts was a guest star once. That counts.
Stupid dog.
Oh no, Eustace, that's your show. That means Brack and Betty are our last 2 contestants.
I'm so mad Eustace lost. Rob King. Finally, the eliminated contestants vote for who they don't want to win, and that's not how Survivor works, but at least it's closer than having a race, and they threw in a quick joke. Anyways, Brack wins, but it turns out everything was a dream all along. God bless the only SS tier winner of all time. Cartoon Network wasn't the only network to have that Survivor spoof. Nickelodeon cartoons also took a shot at them. A really quick one happens on a deleted scene from the Fairly Odd Parents special Channel Chasers. There was supposed to be a song on the special, but it got cut from the final version for whatever reason, and it features this scene. Yeah, that was pretty quick, huh? Gotta love the CSV cameras and the people eating. But here's where the real shout-out is at.
3, 2, 1.
Got a blast.
I never knew about the existence of this special, even when I watched a lot of Jimmy Neutron as a kid. You can imagine my shocked face when I saw this screenshot. I was like, no way! I investigated and it came from a special TV movie where the kids are kidnapped by weird aliens, big surprise, and they are trapped into some sort of game show. Something happens that causes the kids to have to vote off a member of the team, and there can only be one way to do that.
Bad news, Nitrogen Gulpers. As the last place team, you must now vote off one of your teammates. But first, a little ambience. Let the ritual begin.
I really like the shot of this episode. It's actually a Survivor reference and not just Survivor things. They go through discussions and plans of who to vote off, and it actually is pretty close to what happens in the real show.
One person this team would be better off without.
Blondie?
No, neutron.
Oh, so that's the way you want it. Well, bring it on, Blondie. I've got Carl and Sheen on my side, right, guys?
Right. Gene, no! You gotta vote with me and Cindy.
Right. Don't tell them what to vote for.
Moving forward. Who voted with you last try? Well, not
Devin,
them.
you weren't even the target.
Julia, I know I'm not the target.
They feature the snarky voting confessionals.
I tried to be your friend, but I have a planet to save.
And I laugh at the mockery of the suspenseful commercial break before the vote off. Yeah, I love this cartoon. At the end, Bobby pulls a Tyson and votes himself off, and that's pretty much the end of the reference. But that was pretty charming. I like that.
Good. Bobby, your team has spoken. It's time for you to go.
Well, look at all of these cartoons. Just how much more kiddie can we get?
Get ready for Survivor! Musical chairs!
I don't believe this. What's this? Oh my god, what's this? What can I say? I actually love this puppet version of Jeff Bros. He always gets so excited every time he says survive.
Hey monster. Huh? Zoe.
Hi.
And Elmo.
Hello.
Congratulations on surviving this far.
Thanks, Jeff.
The question is, who will be the last monster to survive? Let's see who survives.
I wish Jeff actually did that in real life, by the way. The references here are minimal, it's just the Jeff puppet, the island, and the cool logo. Don't get any funny ideas, Jeff. But out of all things, Sesame Street making a homage to the show I love is something I never saw coming. It's amazing just for that.
But Mr. Jeff, Elmo doesn't want to be alone. Elmo wants to play with his friends.
But that's not how we play the game. There can only be one winner, one survivor.
Oh, then Elmo wants to change the game.
Change the game?
Yeah.
The problem is the game. I think there is a flaw in the game.
A flaw in the game of Survivor.
Yeah.
Hey kid, you ready to see the shittiest Jeff Bros ever?
The rules of Survivor state that if an immunity idol is played...
Ew. This is a cartoon version of Mad. A really funny show that took a shot at everything that existed, and I checked, Survivor does, in fact, exist. This one is just lazy. The joke here is that you can buy an immunity idol to be exempt here from any consequence whatsoever. I mean, look at how ugly everything looks, and the joke just isn't funny or creative. It's very dumb, it's very one note, and everything is disgusting. I hate looking at everything here. This is the worst one so far for me.
Immunity idol.
That does it. We're suing you for stealing our idea of...
I'm immune.
Lousy no good.
The mad immunity idol.
Haha, I guess. So how about we get to a mad show that I think was a bit funnier. Yeah, it's time to transition into the live-action television shows. Mad TV was already hugely popular by the time Survivor Cook Islands came out. Cook Islands was the season of Survivor where they separated the tribes by race, and it was hugely controversial, and Mad had no mercy.
Every day we're forced to live and work with people of different ethnicities. Wouldn't it be nice if we could be split up and compartmentalized like it used to be? Like it is in heaven?
Yes, this whole skit is all the stereotype jokes you can imagine based on the 4 races they casted. Black people love chicken and they build decks. Mexicans have lots of kids and they do cheap labor. Asians are ping pong gods and... Of course. I honestly like how tongue-in-cheek everything in these parodies. I like the shitty budget Jeff Bros. I like that they make fun of the repetitive challenges.
Come on, man. That's like the 8th swimming challenge, dog.
That's my favorite line. I still feel that way about them today. And there is some real commentary on how it seems that the producers and sometimes even Jeff Probst favors white castaways in the game.
Team Chicken and Waffles, you get a glass of water. What? And Team White Bread, you get this fire starting kit. It contains an assortment of dried twigs, a can of gasoline, a lighter, a bag of charcoal, as well as a DVD on how to start a fire. Find out who wins on the next Survivor, Cook Island.
Incredible how even back then people felt that way. Plus, I like the names they give to the CBS initials.
Only on CBS, the Caucasian Broadcasting System, the cross-burning station. Can you believe it?
Yeah, this was pretty funny. But they just had to make a sequel.
Welcome to Survivor Holy War.
Survivor Holy Wars is a continuation of the previous skit. And you know what they say about sequels, they're not as good as the last ones. Instead of tribes being divided by race, they're divided by religion this time. Something that has thankfully never happened in Survivor. It's supposed to be a parody of Survivor Gabon because it has Eden in its subtitle. And honestly, that should tell you there's not really much to go off of here. It's more about making fun of the religions instead of making fun of the show. That Jeff Probst is cheerier this time, but in a bad way. The jokes are weirder and worse. Yeah, it's really bottom of the barrel here. Jews use a menorah. Muslim equal bombs. Christians sing gospel. And Scientology is that time to make fun of Tom Cruise. And there's this one really weird joke at the end.
What kinds of cars do you drive?
I drive a Ferrari.
Even the CBS initial name parodies are lamer.
Creating bad situations. Cold-blooded sinners. Can't blame Scientology.
Yeah, this one isn't good, but I do like the ending where apparently Scientology was the way to go all along. So that religion skill was a total bust. How about making fun of celebrities? That never ages. There are so many jokes that fly over my head in this one. I have no idea about some of these people. Like, okay, I know Dr. Phil and Jack Nicholson on the surface level, but why is Dr. Phil naked all the time? Is that just a reference to the only Richard Hart joke in existence? I know Clay Aiken and his haha he's gay joke, but he doesn't have much more than that. And even when I know who 50 Cent is, I don't get a joke about him always wanting to quit. Though it is pretty funny when he tries to bite himself off.
I quit. I miss my bitches.
But who is Connie Chung and why is she so hated? Who is Miss Garrett? Why is Meg Ryan so dumb? I'm not from the US of A. I have no idea about these cultural figures. Despite that, though, this special has its moments.
Dr. Phil thinks we have an alliance, but tonight, he's gone. Just call me Meggie Fairplay.
Okay, I like that. And hey, they actually got a real Jeff Probst this time. Can you tell he doesn't want to be there? But yeah, this whole special is celebrity jokes from an era that everyone's probably already forgotten. My favorite is probably Meg Ryan, even when I know nothing about her. She's portrayed as being really stupid, but she makes the only specific Survivor references that I like.
I peed on Jack Nicholson's leg when he got stung by a jellyfish.
A jellyfish. Meg, we're in a jungle.
Thanks anyway, Cupcake.
That happened.
I need somebody who can pee on my hand. Okay. I mean that.
Okay, there's one really funny thing that I love, and that's Jeff Probst winking at the camera.
Please. We all know who's the prettiest.
I can't believe there's a clip I haven't seen before. Its existence cracks me up. And it ends with no celebrity knowing how to vote, and their stupidity causes everyone to die in a huge volcanic explosion.
Well, clearly, you guys have done it. Your stupidity has angered the gods of Thousand Island, and now you've awoken the volcano. Here, I'm out of here. Get the limo fired up, guys. Let's go.
You said it, Jeff. But the real question is, are you ready to hear Jeff Probst sing?
He's the host of the most popular reality show on television. And now, Jeff Probst puts down his conch shell and picks up a mic to sing songs inspired by Survivor.
I can't lie, this is probably my favorite Mad Survivor sketch. It's hysterical. The fact that they're writing these ridiculous songs and Jeff sings them with such conviction, I love the songs they made him sing. Okay, random tops, quick. Worst to best. Fifth worst, I need food. It's just a way to make fun of the Bee Gees and nothing more.
Well, it's really hot and you sweat a lot, but in this island heat, don't forget to eat.
Fourth, Cook Islands featuring Queen Latifah. Yeah, this was at the same time Survivor Cook Islands came out as well. I do like Jeff poking fun at the season team of his own show.
People eat lizards, catch scabies. It's just my day job. My real passion is music. And here's a song about this season's racially divided tribes that I sing with my dear friend, Queen Latifah. White's over here, black's over there.
And that's another line I can't believe I'm hearing Jeff Probst say right now.
Maybe this wasn't such a good idea.
Third, the Survivor team. I love this one. Jeff is giving it his all. I love him making the animal sounds, and that cracks me up. But my problem is, that's not the Survivor theme. What a rip. Only Charisma knows. Second, Put Your Clothes on, Fatty. Pretty much the only country song that I've ever listened to, and a nice reference to the only Richard Hart joke in existence.
Put your clothes on, Fatty. You're not the island queen. Hide your ding dong, Fatty. No one wants to see your junk.
My favorite, first, Let's Make an Alliance. I seriously love that this song incorporates the most Survivor phrases out of all of them. It's a Survivor love song. Sweet. I'm gonna sing this to my girlfriend in our wedding and see how it goes. I really love this.
My heart was on Exile Island until it landed on your shores.
Surprisingly, I could only find one Survivor sketch from Saturday Night Live. You'd think that being the most popular show, it would have taken more shots. But there's only 100 Days in a Jungle. At least this one tackles something different than the others, the family visit, and how some people just get random ass loved ones to come visit them. I like the idea of this sketch, but it's pretty unique and could be funny. Emphasis on could, because this sketch annoys me more than it doesn't.
Hey buddy! It's me! Your Uncle Fred Terry! Hey buddy!
That voice is not irritating for about 5 seconds before I want to skip to the next show. Man. Hell yeah, I'm on the show, I love that. Sometimes on the internet I come across a screenshot of Tony Pajamas for some reason, and I always tell myself, neat coincidence that it has a fun use for Survivor. It turns out it wasn't a coincidence, it was a Survivor parody all along. What?
Stranded. Day 1.
Yeah, no shit. Though honestly, if I just showed you the sketch without the main logo, you wouldn't be able to tell. This one is the only reference that parodies Survivor without the island, and that's unique. The concept here is that instead of being voted out of an island, they have to survive being voted out of a car. Well, not exactly voted out, you just have to not get out of the car. And only one person is really voted out at all, but at least it's in a funny way. But if you ask me, the island is really essential for me to recognize it as Survivor. This really could be anything. I don't know, is it Pinkman right? The sketch idea was repeated later on, but the car became a bathtub instead. And you know what they say about sequels.
My name's Courtney.
Who's there?
This is the worst final 2 in history. Yeah, this one is bad. Let's move to another show.
Coming up on the season finale of Milf Island, holy hot mamas. But who will be the final mommy you'd like to...
The concept of this reference kills me. Just the fact that this is what Survivor is for some people. I love the absurdity of the premise. Just hot, sexy women voting off each other and a bunch of kids thrown in for some reason. This is one of my favorites for ridiculousness alone. I'm very sad that Milf Island was cancelled.
Salutha. You've kept it tight. Heidi, we no longer want to hit that. Get off Milf Island.
I only really found a couple of movies where Survivor is referenced, though they are mostly Survivor making cameos more than shoutouts, but there's one that always caught my attention. How best to show the hatred that Jerry suffered in 2001 than with this reference?
Holy Lord, Almighty Father, everlasting God, who once consigned that fallen tyrant to the flames of hell, who sent your only son into the world to crush that roaring tiger, and who got that unholy bitch Jerry kicked off of Survivor.
People really hated Jerry for some reason, man. I mean, I didn't like her either, but the whole country just celebrated her vote as if she was actually dead. Reading all the vitriol about her in these shoutouts just make me sad. So I found Survivor reference in kids shows, cartoons, television, movies.
Man, I wish someone would put a Survivor reference in a music video.
Now this looks like a job for me, so everybody just follow me.
Yeah, the king of pop culture references in music videos. This one is also a funny story for me. I must have watched this music video 1,000 times before I discovered Survivor, so I had always been clueless about what the Elvis Log segment was referencing. I didn't pay much attention to it, and maybe just something that I missed, and when I actually started watching the show, I just didn't think about this music video for a while. But when I revisited it sometime later, and I got to that part, my reaction was, what? That was referencing Survivor all along? Oh man, it felt great finally knowing where that made fun of. I like that they put the little details on it, like the Slim Shady 2 clan leading Chiron, like it was in the early seasons. Plus, this one also counts as a cameo. That's Jenna Lewis from Borneo and Lindsay from Africa. Pretty cute to put them here. So yeah, now I know why they were dressed up like that in the middle of an ocean standing in a piece of Elvis poop. Here's one that has way more history behind it than I anticipated. Destiny's Child was a huge group in the end of the 90s, but when the 2000s started, they were having some interpersonal drama, and some singers wanted to pursue solo careers. Due to all these problems, members started to leave the group one by one, and one radio DJ seeing members get voted off one by one said being in a musical group was like being on Survivor, a hugely popular show at the time. It was meant in a negative way, but the rest of Destiny's Child wanted to spin it in a more positive light, so they renamed their album to Survivor. They released a hit song called Survivor, and the music video for that hit song was directly inspired by Survivor. Yeah, the islands, the trees, the theming, it's the same. I really thought they made this to capitalize off the success of the show, but it actually has a backstory on why the video is such an obvious copy of it, and that was an interesting story to find out. It's a Survivor reference born out of spite. I don't think any other show could claim that, and for that, it's pretty unique. Alright, so what's the one thing we haven't covered? Oh yeah, video games. No, I'm not covering the Survivor video games on this video. I don't trust them as far as I can throw them. Truth be told, there's only one Survivor reference that I found in a video game, and even then it could be applied to many reality shows.
Rehab Island, a tiny island. 10 desperados who will do anything on television.
Grand Theft Auto Rehab Island. On one hand, it's an island, it has to be Survivor. But then, it becomes kind of a Jersey Shore parody-like, so I don't know. There's nothing about people being voted out though, so maybe don't count it. That's all for this video. I've gone through a lot of material for this Survivor reference, and I'm sure I haven't covered all of them yet. But there's still a couple of small ones left, so we're gonna go through them pretty quickly. When everyone was getting kicked out of the White House during Trump's HOH reign of terror of the United States, this was the cover of one of the newspapers. And Stephen Colbert recently made a Survivor party, taking advantage of everyone being in their house for a year thanks to the COB thing. There's also a new Netflix cartoon that dedicates a whole episode of Survivor as well, but I just recently discovered that. Alright, now that's almost everything. I know shows like Whose Line Is It Anyway have taken shots at Survivor.
It's time for the Tribal Council. You will vote one member off.
Or that show is mentioning the 40-year-old virgin or something. But I wanted to cover the most obvious Survivor reference that I could find. So I'll leave this here, and I hope you had fun with all this useless information that I gave you. Comment, like, subscribe, yada yada yada. If you like this video, and follow me if you want to hear me talk about Survivor 41 when it ends, because it's pretty close to ending right now. I will make a video and a review of it, and yeah, you can follow me. I'm the TV Nanigan, and I'll take you to Burn. See ya.